Last chance, Imperfects. Impress me. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 5 of The Imperfects. So, yeah, this is the point. I said that because this series is 10 episodes long and everything, we would give it till episode 5, and I would determine by that point whether or not I wanted to continue it. And the reasoning for which I've already stated in the past, but just to state again, to bring back up, is mostly out of an issue with finding the motivation to react to this. And it's mostly, it's not that I don't like this show. As I keep saying, every time I watch an episode, I really enjoy it. The acting is great, the story is great, the creativity and the designs of the creatures and the people using their powers and all of that is great. But it's not perfect. And that added with the fact that it is also, only 10 episodes and was canceled after the first season. It messes with my motivation to continue. I have this lowered motivation to continue reacting to it because I know that it's going to end and that there's probably not going to be a proper resolution at the end of the season. I lose my motivation to keep reacting because although, I do enjoy it, there are certain aspects of it that are slow or are just not as good or don't hook me in the right way. And I'm not speaking out against the show or the people who made it or the people who star in it at all. I'm just saying it's like sometimes certain shows, not everything works for everyone. That's just how it is. That's how it's going to always be because of humanity. That's just how humans are. Not everything in every show is going to work for everyone. And while I can't fully explain what it is about this that is just not quite working for me, what I can say is that this series just feels like it's not going to have closure. It just feels like as I'm watching it, I'm getting invested, but at the same time, I'm consistently disappointed by the lack of conclusion that I know this overall will have. It feels like I'm just going through a futile act that very few things have felt like to me. Because I've watched other stuff that I've known has been canceled and stuff. But the only other thing that I can think of that really made me feel like watching it and continuing to react to it has been futile is Pandora Hearts. If you remember, that anime was canceled and never had a proper conclusion and everything compared to its, original manga counterpart. And when I tried reacting to it, because it's something I had given an attempt at watching well in the past, and I never finished. I couldn't finish reacting to it because it felt hopeless to me. And that's the kind of feeling I'm getting here too. The only big difference is this is only 10 episodes, and that's why I've been kind of pushing myself to keep trying. But like I said, episode 5, halfway through, this is the proving point. This episode, I'll be completely honest here, has to really impress me. It has to do something that will completely turn around my motivation. And I don't like going into things like thinking negatively, but I don't know if it's going to be able to. Because again, my motivation for continuing is very low. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. If I do end up dropping it, I'll probably finish it on my own time, provided I find the time to do so, knowing me. But I just don't know at this point. I don't know if this is going to be able to turn me around that drastically. Now, mind you, this is the halfway point. So it might be a big episode. That might be something that would turn me around. I acknowledge that this very well could be that kind of episode that might really like hook me in a way the others didn't. But I can't guarantee that. And honestly, at this point, I'm not really super confident in it. Like I said, I hate going into shows with this kind of negative attitude. I try to go into any show or movie or whatever being either as positive as I can be or just kind of neutral to where it's like, oh, I'm not going to raise my expectations, but I'm not going to lower them either. This is one of those cases where I'm just unable to get to that point. It's like, it sucks, but I don't have high expectations for this. I have kind of low expectations. I wish I could have the opposite, or again, even neutral expectations. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. So, that being said, I guess at this point we just have to give it a shot and see what we have in store. You guys already know what will be coming next if I do drop this, but I'll talk about that in the afterthoughts nonetheless, if it does occur. But for the time being, let's get this started and at least hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. It was obvious that Burke had something going on, that she had some kind of power that she was suppressing, and it just was not in any slight way clear on what it could be. When earlier in the episode they had found the phone inside the house, as well as all the trophies, as they were being called, I was legitimately having the thought that what if they were the same person? And it just, I wasn't sure how it would like have happened, but obviously something with her ability, with her powers that she was again suppressing. So it kind of comes across as like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. You could maybe like all of them have like these like creatures and everything that they're based around, and it's like that could be kind of hers. It's not really a creature per se, but like a fictional character and everything. That could be kind of her thing. She's a Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde kind of thing. But yeah, I that's not what I expected, really. I don't really know what I expected her abilities to be, but that wasn't it. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that briefly before, but I just thought like, would they do that? Is that where they would go with this? And so it's I kind of pushed it away because I was again still thinking more that Hannah was a traitor at that point. But then like when she's talking about like okay, how do I put it? When she's saying here at the end during the interrogation, it's like, oh, what have you done with Burke? It's like more what have I done to her, and just all the things she's saying. I snuck her out the French doors, and just everything she's saying has started to make me think. It's like, could my thought earlier have been right? Could they be the same person somehow? And that ended up being the truth. Yeah. So Burke clearly doesn't know about it, though. She knows she has some kind of issue, but she doesn't know exactly what that issue is, I guess. Or maybe she thinks it's something else. But she has this kind of alternate personality that I don't know if it existed before experimentation, could cause it to physically come out like that, or if there's any other kind of reasoning. But it's definitely more vengeful. Finch is definitely more vengeful and kind of psychotic than Burke is. But this raises a lot of interesting questions, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. But also, we kind of do have proof now that Hannah, again, unless the act is still being kept up, that Hannah is actually siding with the good guys now. So, yeah, that's a thing. On top of that, we got to Sarkov. Like, I really didn't expect that to happen this soon. They found Sarkov on an island. They dealt with an issue that was happening there with another experiment. And he's actually surprisingly willing to go along with them right now. And it actually seems like Sarkov is self-aware that he's a bad guy, but that he also excuses his bad actions with the idea that he's trying to save the world, which, mind you, is a very common villain motivation. But at the same time, it's like, I'm wondering how much of the sciencey stuff that was in this is like based in real science and all. And also if he is genuinely trying to help and everything, and he also, by the way, he seemed actually genuinely attached to Burke. It just makes me wonder, like, is he genuine? Is this like entirely genuine? What we saw from him there, like, especially with the entire senseless deaths thing, like he seemed very against that and very disturbed by it, even. I don't know. I don't know. On top of that, in this episode, we have Abby or Tilda and Juan's relationship continuing to grow. It's very clear they're going to end up together. Um, Juan gets to be kind of adorable at one point with that little rar thing. Like, that was so fucking adorable. Like, oh my god. Um, and yeah, the entire deal on the island with the daughter and everything. Like, they need to find a way to help with that because it's like she can't just stay around and with her family like when she has these problems unless they go completely off the grid in terms of electricity. But I don't know, I just kind of don't see that happening. Who knows though? Um Definitely interested to see where this goes, but I don't think I'm gonna react to it. I'm sorry. It's just this episode was good, but every episode has been good. That hasn't been the issue. Like I said, I needed this episode to impress me enough to the point where it would like really hook me in again, to the point where it would make get so that it's like I needed to see more. And I just don't feel like it's done that. I feel again like it was a really good episode, but that's about it. I don't feel like as invested as I feel I need to be for this. And you could say I'm not that's not very surprising. You could like complain about me going into this with a sort of negative mindset and not a lot of hope in it and everything. Excuse me. And you'd be right about all of that. But the episode itself, again, while very good, just didn't do enough for me. It didn't do enough to really just grab at me in the right way. And it sucks 'cause I was hoping it would. I wanted to be proven wrong. But I think the best choice right now would be just to end up finishing this on my own time and to instead go back to Vox Machina Season 2. We'll go back to that, finish out Season 2, and then we'll move on from there. I think that's the best choice right now for our poll series slot. Because I this is only halfway through, and it's like, even with the schedule of once a week and everything, it's like, if I force myself to get through it, it's just gonna cause a lot of resentment in me and cause other problems in terms of motivation and reactions and stuff. So I very much apologize to anyone who was enjoying this, but I think that it's the right decision at this point to just cut this out. um, but I did enjoy what I watched of it. Just not every show is going to work enough for me for reactions. I've talked about this before. Sometimes the show just I feel like would be better watched on my own time and isn't something I'm going to end up wanting to react to. But yeah, so we're going to go back to Vox Machina Season 2, and then we'll hold another poll after that for a replacement. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of The Imperfects? Let me know, and for now, sorry again, but also thank you for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.